Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. Hundreds of battered, dusty backpacks form a wall at one end of the exhibit hall. They are bags left behind by undocumented migrants crossing the arid Sonoran Desert from Mexico to the United States. They are piled close to 20 feet tall. Their owners struck out into the harsh wilderness to flee poverty, drug cartel violence, or political instability, to reunite with family or to begin a new life north of the border. Between 2001 and 2009, at least 2,500 of those migrants perished in the desert, probably many more whose bodies have disappeared. Overcome by the heat, dehydration, or assault by bandits. Anthropologist Dr. Jason De Leon of the University of Michigan has been documenting the journeys of these migrants, gathering their stories, the detritus left behind by those who made it, and the relics collected from those who did not. And many of those artifacts are currently on display along with those backpacks as part of the exhibit State of Exception, Estado de Excepción, at the Parsons School of Design in New York City. Perhaps you saw the photo of those backpacks on the front page of the arts section in Saturday's New York Times. Did anybody see the photo? Although my Tucson-dwelling sister will sing the praises of desert terrain and enthuse about hiking among the red rocks of the Southwest, she is also the first to note that the desert is not to be trifled with. It does not accommodate. It is utterly unforgiving. Unlike the desert creatures that have adapted to their arid home, we people are ill-equipped to survive for long in these wild environs, all rock and sand and unrelenting heat. Writer Belden Lane calls the desert a fierce landscape. Why, then, would Jesus leave the Jordan River, still dripping wet from his own baptism, and head into the desert? Or more precisely, why would the Spirit of God lead him there? In the moments after John the Baptizer dunked Jesus beneath the murky surface of that Jordan River, the gospel writer reports that the skies opened up, and the Spirit of God descended like a dove, alighted on Jesus, and declared him to be God's beloved Son. In the very next verse, Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. So this is how you treat your beloved? You lead him out into the fierce, untamed lands beyond the safety of civilization without so much as a backpack full of food for 40 days and 40 nights. What exactly is going on here? I wonder whether Jesus' journey isn't somehow bound up with the journey of those Central American migrants memorialized by Dr. De Leon. We know that it was bound up with the journey of a much earlier generation of migrants, the ones who fled violence and slavery in Egypt, centuries before Jesus was born. When the writer of Matthew's Gospel penned this episode that we read this morning, he no doubt intended his readers to hear the echoes of that earlier wilderness crossing by the Israelites, who spent 40 years halfway between slavery and freedom, displaced and completely dependent on God for their survival in an utterly barren land. Jesus is not the first to sojourn through the wilderness. nor is he the last. What he does during those 40 days and nights may give us some clues about just what it is that links him to those other wilderness wanderers. Clues to God's purpose in leading him there in the first place. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. The tempter, Satan, that provocateur whose role in the narrative is to test Jesus' resolve. The devil tempts a famished and sun-weary Jesus with visions of wealth and of safety and of power. Feeling hungry? Well, wave a hand and you will have more than you need. Afraid of falling? No worries. God will surely keep you safe from all harm. Anxious that you will never succeed? I'll give you the whole world to command. 3 times, the tempter offered Jesus that most seductive choice: to avoid suffering. Buy your way out. Talk your way out. Muscle your way out, and all of this will go away. Just say the word. Surely God, who loves you, will make it so. How desperately Jesus must have longed for a morsel of bread, the comfort of angels' arms, the assurance of a successful ministry. But Jesus knew, as perhaps we know, that there is no way around the struggle. We all have to go through. This is not easy news. On the contrary, it's the kind of news that makes us want to stick our fingers in our ears and hum zippity-doo-dah as loud as we can, or stream insanely cute animal videos on YouTube until someone changes the subject. But the truth is, the journey of faith, our journey through life, can be heart-achingly, gut-wrenchingly hard. Be kind, for everyone is fighting a hard battle, wrote the 19th century author Ian Maclaren. Or in the words of the dread pirate Roberts, a.k.a. our hero Wesley in the film Princess Bride, life is pain, Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something. God knows that there is heartbreak and to spare in the world. So God sent us God's only Son to share our common lot in the words of the United Church of Christ statement of faith. Those who know what it is to feel desperate, to face limits, to grapple with despair, those who cling to hope as they confront wall after wall, these are the people among whom Jesus was called to serve. Refugees cannot wish away the war that has decimated their home, instantaneously turn guns into plows or empty bowls into loaves of bread. They cannot wave a hand and undo the economic policies that keep them in poverty, nor could they stand on the heights and command that their crops flourish or that malicious forces steer clear of their children. Parents cannot vanquish their child's addiction with the snap of a finger, nor children wipe away the vagaries of aging for their beloved parents. There is no get out of the wilderness free card in this life. So neither would Jesus take the quick and painless way out. Journey through the wilderness and not around. Again and again, Jesus found his way into the lives of those who struggled, oddballs and outcasts of every sort. We'll meet some of them in the coming weeks. A skeptical Pharisee named Nicodemus, a Samaritan woman at the well, a man born blind, and two sisters mourning the death of their brother. All of these are women and men who grappled with doubt, ridicule, disability, grief. And Jesus would meet each one of them right in the middle of their grappling. Unflinchingly and without judgment, he would name the truth of their circumstances, and then he would offer hope. He could do that because he knew firsthand what it is to put your life in God's hands. It seems to me that his promises would have sounded hollow had Jesus himself chosen the easy way around, but he didn't. He never does. Instead, he trusts in God to accompany him all the way through. And what about us? Could we trust like that? Could we put ourselves into God's hands as together we traverse the wilderness of the world's suffering? Lent is our chance to ask this: what shortcuts have we taken when it comes to loving God and neighbor, when it comes to walking this journey of faith? When have we tried to buy our way out, talk our way out, muscle our way out of the hard work that faith demands of us? Not, I need to be clear, that faith requires suffering for its own sake, but rather that trusting God gives us the courage to confront the pain, our own and others. For what we cannot face, we cannot heal. And there is so much healing to be done. So much discord to be transformed, so many battered bodies to be tended to, so many parched spirits to be soothed. The Reverend John Edgerton says that sin is to be tied up with and implicated in the heartbreaks of the world. I'm going to read that again. The Reverend John Edgerton says that sin is to be tied up with and implicated in the heartbreaks of the world. And so we are all sinners, both compromised and complicit, all walking the same wilderness way. But friends, here's the startling truth: that fierce landscapes not only test us, they also have the power to restore us to wholeness. Perhaps because it's only when everything else has been stripped away that we can finally concede that neither wealth, nor power, nor safety can save us. Finally concede, along with those Israelites of ancient times, that there is nothing to do in the wilderness but to rely on God, body and spirit, our source and our hope. Sisters and brothers in Christ, here is the good news. God is a desert dweller. Did you notice? The Spirit of God does not send Jesus into the wilderness. The Spirit leads Jesus, which means that God went there first. And this changes everything. For we may not have the power to wish away suffering, but God has the power to transform it completely. Spoiler alert, After Jesus banishes Satan from his sight, he goes on to work miracle after miracle to heal that blind man, raise the dead, multiply loaves. Look, he says, again and again, God is here in our midst. God resides in the struggle. When we rely on God, she can work wonders. In God, my friends, every gun shall be turned to a plow. Every empty bowl shall be filled. Every oppressive system shall be brought down, and every body shall be made whole. In God, every thirst will be quenched, every brow soothed, every hunger filled, every wilderness wanderer finally welcomed home. Together, we shall march into the kingdom of God, and the children shall lead us. This is the vision. This is the promise that took tangible shape in Christ's heart during those 40 days and 40 nights. God's will, not mine. God's reign, not Satan's. God's vision, God's power, God's love overflowing. This is the good news, sisters and brothers in Christ. And to that I say, thanks be to God.